model with tucked in a skinny jacket. Yeah, he's embarrassed. Good. Hi, everybody.
Hi.
It's a Sunday hangout and chill. The con is almost over, and you've chosen to spend your last few moments with me. You're all so stupid. So very stupid. And handsome and pretty. I know almost all of you have been to my other panels and signings, and it's nice to see you again. Some new faces. Hello. Hi, Tiana. She literally has expression on her face of like, why did I do this? Don't worry. If you have to go pee or you got places to go, go. If you want to text your friends and tell them to come, have them come. Who here was at one of my other panels? Great. So, 35%. Yay! Come forward, come forward. Everyone, look at them. Look at them as they approach. Hi. Hi. Oh, hello. Oh, good. Good. Most people are embarrassed. They're embracing it. This will be the same format as previous panels. You have questions. I have answers. And I will try to make them as serious as possible, because you guys know I'm very serious. And what else? My name's Robbie. You know that because you read the program. I just read my program, and I have two versions of the bio. One's like a nice one that's like a little bit about me. Here's some stuff I've done, and then I sent them another one that's just like for programs. And it's just a list of shit that I've done, and I was very embarrassed when I read it. It seems so pretentious, like my vlog camera, which I didn't bring because that's also pretentious. I play Prompto in Final Fantasy 15, Tuxedo Mask. I play Raymond in OKKO. I'm the voice of Spider-Man. I'm Akechi in Persona 5, Mitsuki in Boruto. I don't know. IMDb, I've got like 150 credits on IMDb, and I play a bunch of characters and all that. I don't know, you guys know better than I do. It'll be like our first panel, when I said, this is what I play, and then somebody would be like, when you were in 7 Deadly Sins, I was like, aha, I am in 7 Deadly Sins. So, you may ask anything that you'd like. We'll keep it PG-13 plus. We'll keep it TV7. We'll keep it basic cable. If you can watch The Walking Dead, you can be in this panel. I'll try to say butt instead of ass. I'll try to say poop instead of shit, but I make no promises. And if you do have a question, just make sure that it's a question that has context. I would love it. You know what? I'm not going to set any rules. You guys ask the questions you want to ask. Hi, One Punch Man. Hello. How are you? Hi. Hi, guys. This is a small room. It's a small con. It's a quiet day. You can just raise your hands. You don't have to come to the microphone. Who has the first question? Front row. Let's do this. By the way, this is an hour long. If you run out of questions, I'm gonna leave. So be thinking of some. Yes?
You said you were an acting teacher, and I just kind of wanted to know, what were like some of the common traps people would fall into early on that kind of work on getting over this and kind of become more serviceable?
I love you. It's a good first question. What's your name?
Dylan.
Dylan. Everyone, when you ask your questions, just say your names. Because cons are for making friends, and maybe someone asked a really cool question, and then you want to go introduce yourself to them. That's Dylan, everyone. Common traps. It's like that turned to AA all of a sudden. Hi, Dylan. I watch anime. I sold my dog for the Aniplex set of... that was my lowest moment. Common traps that young actors fall into. Is that the question that you're asking? Very good question. So when I was teaching in grad school, who I was teaching were the undergraduate theater majors. And in a couple of classes, I taught a lecture course for non-majors. So I had everything from, football players to businessmen trying to fill out that fine arts thing. And then after I left, I taught at the New York Film Academy for a year and a half, 2 years, when I was in Los Angeles. And I think a very common trap for a young actor is playing the emotion instead of the action of the scene. So emotions are they're easy, but they come to us a little bit more organically. Like, I can If we were up here doing an acting workshop, I could get you mad. I could get you mad. I could get you sad. I could get you happy by coaching you there. And I see this all the time. Here's the problem. Now we're mad, now we're happy, now we're sad. What do we do with all of that energy? It has to be shaped. It has to be put into something. So from a pedagogical sort of standpoint, what I would say to you is play the action first and then make the action clearly, present in what the scene is. It's got to make sense. And then that action will lead you into an emotion. And you can assign a physical action or an intellectual action to any piece of text. So let's say your text was like, I'm going to kill you. Pretty easy one, right? The first way you might come to mind might be, I'm going to kill you. Like, it could be really mean. I'm going to kill you. But what are the other choices that we could make? We can say, I'm going to kill you a million different ways, right? And within a million different feelings that might not be present in what they are. So if I were to say, well, the first obvious choice would be, I'm going to kill you, and it were to slash, right? That's the physical action we gave it. That word means slash. You could, what's slash? It's direct, it's sharp, it's fast. And if you physically, with your body, slashed a bunch of times up here with no words, eventually you would start to feel something. There's no way that you could do this over and over again until a feeling came out, right? And then I say, okay, now, you know what that felt like? Take that away, and then just slash with your body. And you do it with your body, you take away the action. And then you just slash with your breath. And then, what's that feel like? And then you slash with the sounds, a sharp sound, and maybe your sound's gonna be, ah. And you go, ah. And that's really sharp and quick. And then you can put text to that action, and it'll lead you into a certain way. And that's one way that you can experiment with how to shape your emotion into action, or to use action to generate emotion. And that's just like an actor, I would do this with you day one on a workshop, to show you that that's not the only choice. Now what if I said to you, okay, we're not gonna slash anymore, now we're gonna grind. Well, what's grind mean? It's contracted, it's focused, it's heavy, and I say to you, okay, grind. And you just, what does that mean in your body? I don't know, you just grind. Grind. And then you do that over, then you do it with your voice. And then, I'm gonna kill you, changes to, I'm gonna kill you. And it has a different meaning, right? So, the choices that you make are your own to make, but they're also there for you in the text. So, well, a lot of young actors will say, well, how am I feeling? And then you go, I don't know. What's the line? And then you say, I'm gonna kill you. And then I say, how can you play that? And then that's a good way not to fall into the trap of just playing emotion. I see a lot of these acting training stuff, and it's all about get you there. Feel the emotion. I want to get you sad. Okay, now what? Now you're just a blubbering piece of shit. Now you gotta form that. I don't want to see you sad. I want to see that character having whatever complex emotion they're having because of the complex actions that have been placed for you in that script. So one of the most classic definitions of acting is living truthfully under imaginary circumstances. And understanding those circumstances and then playing actions that are appropriate for that moment are the way that that's my personal take on acting. And it works very well for voiceover because a lot of the times all we have are the words, okay? So a lot of our job is cold reading, so we make snap judgments on the acting as they go and make big choices like that. And that's what leads us into the director helps you shape them and see if they're big, small. You make little minute adjustments. But I used to call it, when I taught acting, I used to call it emosterbating, where you're just on stage emotionally masturbating. Trademark. No one wants to see that. And if you have an acting teacher that praises you because you got on stage and gave a big emotion, fine, that's good. But if you never move past that, then you should think about a new acting teacher. Because you eventually have to shape those emotions into something that makes sense for whatever's happening within the text that you're given. Yeah? Was that a more involved answer than you were looking for?
That was a perfect answer.
Okay, good. Yeah, don't just rely on the emotion. Play the text, play the action. Actions first, emotions will come if you play the actions. Yeah. Yes?
When looking for classes, whether it be acting or for like special voiceover classes, I spoke with other voice actors and they recommend Crispin Freeman for one, so it's like, okay.
Sure.
But for those, if we didn't know actors, instructors themselves, what are some key things when looking for classes that when going into it, we know that the instructors know what they're doing, or we know that we'll get a good class rather than someone who just, like you said, just to give me an emotion.
Yeah, thankfully the answer to that's a lot easier now than when I would have been looking for training, because you guys have the internet. So that's a great resource. Look at the reviews of real people. I think you're all relatively, young and hip and with it. Like, what's a fake quote and what's a real quote. You know what I mean? So I would look for word of mouth, what other people are saying. And then don't get too freaked out about money up front, because any good class is going to cost money. And I understand that money is time and time is valuable, so you want to spend it in the right way. I would say a good recommendation would be my first thing. Someone that you trust and someone that had a good experience, find out from that person who to go to. So if someone said go to Crispin Freeman, go to Crispin Freeman. I would say go to Crispin, go to Mick Wainert's great, Harlan Hogan's great. There are a lot of great people who do Skype coaching, all of that stuff. Just be wary of anybody too slick. Be wary of someone that might pop up in your Facebook ads. That's what I would say. If you've shown an interest on it and then someone pops up and says, I can show you how to make money tomorrow doing voiceover, then I go, scan, click, gone. Because that's all BS. Look for someone who's teaching a skill. Look for someone who has an animation class. Look for someone who has a commercial voiceover class. Kalmanson and Kalmanson. Look for someone who has a reputation. Look for someone local who's done work. Look at their resume and ask yourself, well, what does this person have to teach me? What have they done? That's the first thing I do. If I ever look like something, as I post a lot of stuff about VO, I'll get these ads that pop up all the time, and I'll be like, who's that? And I look them up, and I go, 2 credits in IMDb. What I gotta learn from you? You know what I mean? And I think that's an important part, is look at who your instructor is. And that's not necessarily the only qualifying thing is their previous credits. They may be more of a teacher than someone they may be an excellent teacher and not done a lot of stuff. But there are things that you can kind of do research for on your own. And if you go to that I Want to Be a Voice Actor site, that also has a lot of good little subparagraphs about picking a coach. So obviously your local coach here in Phoenix or in Charlotte or wherever you're from, they're going to have their area of expertise as opposed to whatever. I'd say there's maybe regular American City, there's half a dozen, if that, like voiceover coaches. There's probably only 2 good ones in town, and if they're not in Los Angeles or New York. And this should be pretty easy to narrow in on who you're looking for. Does that help? Yeah, just avoid the traps. That's all I would do. And if you're going to get like Skype training or online training, just make sure that person is qualified so you know you're not getting hustled. Use your common sense purchasing a coach just like you purchase anything else online. Do your research. Yeah. You're like a living Snapchat filter. Yeah.
That's really unfortunate.
Oh no, sorry. That wasn't an insult, it was a compliment. The one that makes you look pretty and have fun. Never mind, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
So as a voice actor, you have to act for different characters?
I think so.
Yeah. Out of all the characters you've done, what's your favorite line? And can you say the line?
My favorite line?
And which character was that?
You asked the favorite question, but you're so sweet, I'm going to answer it. I think one of my favorite lines was in Breadwinners, where I just got to go, you smell like a butt. That's my favorite. Because I like to think of a butt on another butt, and then the smell that butt would smell if it were a butt's butt. It's a good line. I really like that one. I also like Tuxedo's Masks. I'll teach you the ABCs of justice, because it's so super dumb. Moving Rider, one of my favorites, is Justice Crash! It's so lame. What else are some of my favorites? I always talk about the gasping tacos. It was just this cartoon where it was just these tacos that just go, and that's I love giving.
I'm now going to research that.
Good, I'm glad. Oh gosh, from OKKO, I really love Raymond from OKKO. And he goes, "You're having a shindig without me, the Prince of Panache." And I read that line and I said, "Can I say it as sexy as I want?" And they're like, "Yes, you can." So I love kids' cartoons. That was one of my favorites. And he's like lying on a rose bed with his butt out, like kind of rolling. One of my all-time favorites. Yeah. Yes.
Of any of the worlds that you've been involved in voice-wise, which would you like to go on vacation to?
Ooh, it's a fun one, you guys. I would like to vacation. God, I've been so many depressing shows. I would like to vacation in the world of Transformers Rescue Bots. And here's why. It's a preschool Transformers show. They never fight. They never fight other Decepticons. There's no real violence. What they do is go on rescue missions, and something effing amazing happens in their town every week. So I think it would be cool to just go to that town and be like, "Oh, nuclear flying lobsters." You know, since it's a preschool show, no one's gonna get hurt. That sounds like a nice vacation. Yeah, where like everyone's like this version of America that doesn't exist. And everyone's brown and white and black, and it's okay, and we love each other. And you know, it's set in Maine, and there's an evil doctor next door, but don't worry, the worst thing he's gonna do is make cotton candy that tastes bad. You know, I think I would choose to be in that world than any other. And you get to hang out with rescue bots and Transformers, because they're always like around, and they're like, "You got a parking ticket. I'll cancel that for you." You know, it's one of those shows. I would definitely hang out there. It's a pretty cool place. I would also want to hang out in Patima Inverted Land, because I feel like it would be constantly dangerous. It's like where one is always upside down and you can fall up into the sky, and that just sounds scary, and I like to be scared. Yes.
Like, whenever you were becoming an actor, what was your inspiration, or who was your inspiration to become an actor?
Well, voice acting, I had several inspirations. Like Rob Paulson is one of my all-time VO heroes. I like him a lot because he's had such a long, illustrious career, and he has a very recognizable voice, and I feel like we share that trait. So even though we both have lines, or we both have range, I can always like pick him out, and I feel like a lot of my fans are sort of the same way. So I really look up to him. Maurice LaMarche. I mean, you know, a lot of the sort of classic VO people in cartoons I looked up to a lot. But I would say my inspiration for that was just, outside of the typical like running around as a country boy and playing some sports as a kid, and you know, doing some guy stuff with my dad. The longest story arc I have is being an actor, from my first play at like 10 or 11 to life now. So you know, that's 24 years of just sort of focusing on one thing. So my inspiration was always just kind of doing good work and being better, and this is kind of cheesy, but whatever, it's Sunday, I can be cheesy. Giving joy to people, and that's a lot of what theater is, and you do that in a very visceral, live way. And I'll be real with you guys, like, I could not do anime and be just fine. I could survive, you know, like, it's not my biggest paycheck, but like, the biggest reason I would do it is to come to these conventions and see you guys, and like being able to interact with you and hear stories, everything from, it might just be a little thing you say at a signing, or the look in your eyes when we're in a panel when I make eye contact with you, but like, it's hokey and it's cheesy, but like that's where I derive my joy, and that's where I find my inspiration is in the people that I get to entertain, because I recognize it as a privilege. I've been doing that my whole life, and to be able to do that for you guys in whatever capacity, big or small, whether you're watching it at home or with your friends or alone or binging a show on Netflix or whatever, where I get to meet you and shake your hand, like, that's my inspiration. So so that's sort of where I sit with that. Yeah. Yeah, that's how I feel about it. Yes?
If you were to choose between the Phantom Troop or the Phantom Thieves, which one would you join?
Phantom Troop. I'm a bad guy at heart, you guys. I am. I'm a nice person with good morals, but I'm a bad guy. I love the Phantom. They're so cool, and they've got it all together, and they're my troop. I lead them. Are you kidding me? And Krollo, if you follow the manga, she gets real. I do love him, so I would be Krollo in my own Phantom. Listen, the Persona kids are sweet. But I got adult tastes. I'll come back to you. Let's do it in the back. Yeah. Hello.
Can I talk Persona spoiler?
I mean, I don't mind. Can you make it vague?
Yeah, would you want to do any other future projects as Akechi?
Oh, that's not spoilery. No, yes, of course. I think if you're referring to the upcoming anime or any of that world universe expanding stuff, nobody knows the plot yet, nobody knows the story, and the honest answer is, if I'm involved in that, no one's approached me yet. I would assume they would try to get the cast back, but there's no information yet.
But if the opportunity presents itself,
I'm not gonna say no. I love my dirty pancake boy. He's my favorite. One of my favorites. Yeah, absolutely. I would love to. Yeah, and who else could do it? Yes, in the front.
When you were younger, were you into anime?
Yeah.
And how did you explain it to your parents?
How did I explain it to my parents? Well, they're right back there, so you can ask them. That's my mom and dad. They live in Tucson, so they drove up to hang out and see me today. I didn't have to explain it, did I, guys? You probably didn't know I was watching it.
What was the question?
Well, was I into anime when I was younger, and did I have to explain it to you like it was bad?
You were drawing anime.
Oh! Mother! What are you doing? That's right, I remember. Yeah, I was drawing anime, but I don't even think I knew I was drawing anime. I think I knew I was just drawing a cartoon style that I liked. Mom took me to the local, we lived in this little town called New Melly. It was us and like 5 other people. I think the population of that entire town was like 300 people. And there was a local, like, Quickie Mart video store, where the corner of the video store was just about as big as this corner right here. One day I went and picked up a little movie when I was about, 13? A little movie called Ninja Scroll. And thankfully, my parents just thought it was a cartoon. And I was like, oh, naked ladies and people getting sliced in half. My parents were really good parents, but that one slipped under the radar. I was like, ooh, I like this. What is this? And I still didn't even know it was anime. So, and then also this relates to my parents. I was at my dad's parents' house, my grandparents' house, and this was an early tsunami. So I used to watch Cowboy Bebop and Big O. And those were so stylized, you guys, I still didn't even get that it was anime. I knew it was different. Because the shows I used to watch as a kid, like cartoons, a lot of those were anime and we didn't even know it. Like there were shows that were like, like even Sailor Moon, like, you know, and now everybody knows what anime was, but when I was a kid in the early 90s, it was just making its way to the West. So, and I was from a small town in the Midwest, so I didn't know what I was watching. I just thought I was watching really cool, edgy cartoons. And it wasn't until I got into college and it was explained to me in the dorms what DBZ was, that is when I really knew that I was watching anime. Because it would come on at 11 and we would open our co-ed door and everybody would we had a pretty cool TV set up and people would come in and we would watch the latest episode of DBZ and I was like, what is this? These guys are just screaming at each other for 22 minutes. But yeah, and I really enjoyed it. And since then, my tastes have evolved. Like then I started getting into Miyazaki. I was always into cartoons and video games. And then I started getting Miyazaki. Then I started watching shows. And then also in the early 2000s, I started reading manga. And I said this in some of my other panels. I used to read Shonen Jump Monthly, which had Naruto, Yu Yu Hakusho, all this stuff. I used to have a stack of them on the back of my toilet, 4 feet tall. Yes, I'm a toilet reader. Don't record that. So I always had an interest in it. But at the time, I couldn't go to a con and do this with my friends. Not really. I mean, they may have been out there, but if they were, I didn't know about them. So I guess I was kind of an undercover fan, not out of like weirdness or embarrassment. Like I embraced it. I obviously showed my anime drawings to my parents, but yeah, and I always enjoyed it. Yeah, and as I grew older, I continued to watch it. So when it was time for me to like be like, okay, I'm doing these Western cartoons. I'm doing a few video games. What do I want to add to my theatrical career? I was anime. And then I made a phone call and I was like, hey, I know anime. Like, I called the head of the studio and I was like, do you ever get any auditions? Send them my way. And they were kind of like, oh, but you do this other stuff. Like, why do you want to do anime? I was like, I explained it. And they're like, yeah. And then a month later, it happened to be they were casting Sailor Moon. And yeah, that was my foot in the door. And I've been working on it I've done it quite a bit in the last 3 years. So, yeah.
You said the other day that the majority of the characters you get cast as are either really, really happy or really, really evil.
Yeah.
Who are your favorite good boys and your favorite bad boys?
Ooh. Well, Saray is the purest good boy of all good boys.
Yeah.
Annoyingly so. Like that's a 40-hour main quest game. Yeah, Tales of Hysteria. I played Saray, and I was eventually we recorded over about 6 weeks, and Wendy Lee was the director. And I met her at a convention. I luck into a lot of roles. Like, I met her at a convention, and she's like, hi, I'm Wendy. I was like, oh yeah, I know you from Cowboy Bebop and all these other things. And she's like, I direct too. Do you ever audition at the studio? And I went, nope. And she's like, oh, I think I got some stuff coming that you should do. And then I was in Tales of Hysteria like 3 weeks later. So, yeah, it really is about the people that you meet. And I happen to have lucked into quite a few. And he's the purest of the pure good boys. So we got into it about 5 weeks in, and I was like, is this guy gonna ever get jaded? Like, his friends are dying, everything's bad, his grandpa is some demon guy's fist, I don't know. Is anything gonna go bad? And they're like, no, he stays he learns a few hard life lessons, but he stays positive the whole time. So he's one of the purest good boys. Moomin Rider is one of the purest good boys of all time, the purest of the pure. I would say that, who else is a pretty good boy? Prompto. He is the sunshine child. He gets sad sometimes. Favorite bad guys? I love Crollo. I really like Nagara Hisue, the Green King from K. He's very, very naughty. Akechi is a great character. He's my favorite. If you haven't played the game, he's a great good boy. And you guys, I got a few more coming out this year that are very, very bad people. I'm very excited about it. Ooh, and I played this Jedi Inquisitor or Sith Inquisitor in Star Wars Rebels. I played the 8th brother for 2 of the last episodes of season 2, and he was very bad. He was a very naughty boy. He laughed at the Jedis. He was like, ha 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 ha, you'll never defeat us. I think I got that part because of the way I said Jedi. Because in the audition script it was just like Jedi, and I was like, Jedi. I said it really long, like the Emperor would say it. They're like, that's the guy. That's the guy. Your insignificant revolution. Jedi. Yeah, those are some bad and good boys. We're doing good. You guys, these questions are great. This one better be good.
Okay, so first of all, I love your role as Smokey Brown in JoJo's Bizarre Adventure.
Yes, thank you.
Yeah, no problem.
Oh, they started off with a compliment. I like this one so far.
I kind of have a request.
No. Okay. Go ahead, I'm teasing. No.
One of your most famous lines, I want you to pick one, and I want you to say it in the normal voice and the most ridiculous voice you can muster.
Oh, okay. Let's see. What's a line? What should we do? Should we do a prompto line? What's one of the ones everybody likes? Oh, hi there opening?
Oh, hi there.
Yeah, that's right. So, Prompto, he's a lot like me, but his voice is a little bit higher, kind of up here. And he goes, oh, hi there opening. And then there's something that we also do that's called a bubble voice. And a very famous bubble voice would be like Smeagol from Lord of the Rings. So, he would say, oh, hi there opening. This opening. Runs lovable voices because they can be anything. Like, if you're Smeagol, all you have to do is put a little accent on it and be a little crazy. And you're just, all it takes is you put something low back here, and then you drop it down. And it's low. But it can also be a cute voice. So if you're doing a cartoon, you can be a little squirrel. And it can be really weird and down here. And you'll just put it on your nose and tuck your voice back, and it gets really weird, and you go, hey, boops. So, like, that, I love little voices. You don't get to do them very often, because they're kind of like nowadays they're like, all the cartoons are super realistic and whatever, so it's kind of a no-no. But whenever you get a chance to do one, it's pretty fun, yeah. Oh God, that's gonna be on the internet, isn't it? Yeah, right in front, and then I'll get to the back.
This might be kind of
a bummer question? Man, I was hoping one of these would come along. Let's make us all sad, let's do it.
As a voice actor, you probably auditioned for a lot of roles. Has there ever been one that you didn't get that you were particularly upset that you didn't get?
Yeah, sure. It's not a bummer question. You know why? Not a bummer question at all. It's a great question. We are tuned in for rejection. You learn to deal with it as you get older and the more you go through your career. My parents will attest. When I was younger, it affected me a lot more, but now you just go, you just can't care about it. Because the minute you start caring too much, A, you're gonna fuck it, or you're gonna mess up your audition. Say the F word on Walking Dead. You're gonna mess up your audition, and two, it'll get in your head. You'll get weird about it. So you just kind of go in and do your audition and let it go. I do, including all of the forms of auditions that I do, from commercials to anime, video games, cartoons, all of that. I probably do anywhere between 300 to 600 auditions a year, depending on how busy the year is. So, and if you're booking, I don't know, 2%, you're crushing it. You know what I mean? So it's a lot of rejection. So I was, anime, one of my favorite animes of all time is Berserk. And I love that anime, man. It's one of my favorites. And, but the original 26 episode arc, and then I also like the new Golden Egg remake of the Golden Era stuff. I think that's pretty good. They did a good job with that. And now they're doing a new series, and it was a full recast. I don't know anything about it, and I want it to be Griffith. Like, I asked. And a lot of times when I ask, sometimes I'll get the role that I want, you know, if I know the studio. And who they ended up casting was great. I don't know, I want to say it was Steve Staley, maybe?
Yeah.
And the original was so good, too. He was so fantastic. And I really wanted to do that character. That was one of the anime ones that I was a little bummed about. I didn't get casted because it's probably like one of my top 3 favorite anime. Would have liked to have done that one. Been pretty lucky, you guys. I was really bummed out when I didn't get Ultimate Spider-Man. I went through several rounds of callbacks for that, and then now that I'm the new Spider-Man, I found out at Comic-Con that I was the second choice for that. And while I think that this is the right show for me, that I'm doing now, it sure would have been nice to have had that 5 years previous in my career. You know what I mean? But I'm not bitter about it. It's just what it's meant to be. That would have been nice. There've been a couple of DC things that I would have liked to have gotten cast in that I didn't. But yeah, I don't really think about them. Yeah. And anytime I don't get a national campaign, a national commercial, because they give you a lot of money. So those are, every time you see one, you kind of just lick your chops and go, bye. So yeah. But no, you gotta be cool with rejection if you're gonna be an actor. For sure. Wasn't there one in the back? Yes. Yes.
What did you think of Crow's, the poem he kept repeating when next to the window in the tower? After, what did you think about that? I thought you did really amazing on that line and how you presented it.
That was one of my favorite days in the studio in an anime ever. I was working with Tony Oliver. He's a great director. You guys might know him. He's directed everything. He's been directing dubbing since, you know, the Power Rangers back in the day. And he's just a really quality director, and I really like working with him. And when we did Crollo, he's got a real command of understanding acting coaching. One of my favorites. And when we got into this poetry, we kind of looked at each other and be like, hey, let's work this. Let's really work this, and let's approach it like you would approach Shakespeare. So that was kind of, and it is a very kind of sort of iambic. It's not pentameter, but it's definitely iambic in the way that it's said. So doing a poem like that was a really fulfilling couple days in the studio for me. And then you see it with the visuals and the music and everything. So that's, I don't sit around waiting for stuff that I do to come out, because that's crazy. But this one I watched like live. I knew the episode was coming up, and I'm like, I'm gonna watch this on Toonami, and I couldn't have been happier with it, because those are those are special days that don't come up. It's a lot different than go buy Coca-Cola. Not always are you doing this sort of beautifully morose piece of poetry in anime. It just doesn't happen all that often. So I knew the fans would like it, and I knew that I would enjoy doing it. Yeah, it's very nice of you to say that you enjoyed it. That means a lot. Thank you. But yeah, I love that bit. If you haven't seen it, it's just a great bit in anime in general, and we really took our time with it. So yeah, I think we spent almost a whole session just on the poetry stuff. Yeah, thank you. Of course. I'll come back. I'm gonna go to some people. Right there. Yeah.
So, are there any works that you're particularly proud of, but they're not well known, that you want to promo or something?
Sure. Cabaneri comes out next week. Cabaneri of the Iron Fortress. It's 12 episodes. We got a greenlit for a second season, I heard. It's the same people that make Attack on Titan. It is a gorgeous show. And I wasn't in anime at the time that Attack on Titan was cast, so I was bummed that I never really had a chance to even try for it. So, and it's not in Texas. And this is the next best thing for me. And because that's also one of my favorite shows to watch. And I think this Cabaneri show is legit. And I think the casting is legit, the directing is great, it's a beautiful show, and personally I'm really proud of my work in that one. I think if we're talking anime, and this is an anime convention, so I'll talk anime, I think that I did a movie called A Silent Voice. In Japanese it's called The Shape of Voice, and it won basically the Japanese version of the animation Oscars last year. I mean, it beat Your Name, and that's the most critically successful anime film ever. The #1 Japanese grossing film ever. And it kicked its butt for this animation award. It is a gorgeous movie. And it's been released in the UK. I sneak peeked a couple of it when people leaked it out on YouTube. Don't do that, though. Don't do that. Blind your eyes to it. But it goes away pretty fast. But I wanted to watch something of it because that's a 2-hour movie, and I'm the lead in it. And we spent 22 hours in the studio on it. We took our time, and it's very subtle. It's very cinematic. It's emotional and well written, and the dubbing is great. Stephanie Shea and Enway, the post handled it. It's very good. And I would say of all the anime I've done, I think my performance in that one I'm the most proud of. So word on the street is, it's eventually going to come over here, hopefully. I've been disappointed that it got to the UK first, but I hope I'm not speaking out of turn, but I think there are plans for it to come to the States. So if it comes to a theater or something like that, I suggest you go check out the dub, because they used real kids as little kids. There's a deaf actress in it. The female lead is deaf, and they used a real, fully deaf, hearing impaired person to dub it. It's so pure. So if you get a chance to see that movie, it's really, really good. I'm very proud of it. Yeah, in the anime world. Yeah. Yeah. So then asked a question. The back, Matthew Mercer here. Go on.
That made me so happy that you said that. You don't even know.
Good. He is the dungeon master of all dungeon masters.
Anyway, so it kind of in contrast to my friend's question here. Throughout it's kind of a broad question, but throughout your career, you've had a lot of jobs, doing acting, voice acting, and all that. Mm-hmm. Is there any job, any role that you would go back and do differently because either you were dissatisfied with it or just...
Yeah, my role as caterer and bartender, and I go back and not take any of those roles. Gosh, you just get better as you do more. And I don't think I would go back in time and change anything. I don't think I'd redub anything. I'm thankful in anime I started later in my career, so that most of the anime stuff that I've done I feel pretty confident about. No, and here's why. Those jobs came when they were supposed to come for me. So I don't feel like I did anything like poorly in them. Could I have done better in some of the roles? Maybe. But I would have to be thinking in the past, and I don't think there's some stuff I did like in theater in college that I would go back and redo, but I definitely wouldn't want to go back and do college theater. So that's the sort of the rub there. No, because I'm sort of about in the moment and forward thinking, and I don't think I would go back in time and change anything, even if it's not very good. Maybe a few auditions, but other than that, no roles. No, I'm gonna stick with it. But it's a good question, and I know why you think that way. Because as artists, we always want to go back and touch up our work, right? Anybody who draws, you're like, I'm not quite happy about that, and then you go back and you try to fix it, and then you back the whole thing up. So I kind of feel that same way about your acting career. Keep moving forward and learn from what you've learned, and I'm sure if I went through like my auditions throughout the years, I could find a few that would make me ugh a little bit, but no, I don't think so. Yeah. My mom can tell you, she's my toughest critic, and I'm calling them out. My mom, I love my parents. They are the best. But when I would do a play, because she's seen so many of them, like, over the years, 50, 60 plays since I've been a little kid, and she'd come to most of them. And I would come after, it's the first opening night, and Mom would be there and be like, you'll sweaty 3-hour play, and be like, so what'd you think, Mom? What'd you think? And she's like, it's not your best. so she was really good. She's like, I don't know if I like that one so much. So my mom would be ultimately supportive, but definitely your parents can keep you humble. They were the best. So yeah, I'm sure my mom has a few of those. Like, you should definitely go back and redo Oklahoma in 1997. Would be a good one for you to redo. Yeah. Other questions? Let's see. Yes. Okay.
And so
that's good.
I just wanted to know, like, how do you get the feel of some of your characters? Because you have a very big range, like, for going from Prompto to like Sway,
sure,
to Raymond to Akechi, and I just want to know how you get a feel of those characters and then do the voice.
Yeah, we're lucky because a lot of it's on the page for us. So when I talked about like cold reading skills, it's a good question. I talked about cold reading skills, and a lot of it has to do with that. Like I'll go into a session and might not have read the script. So you've got to be right there to do that. You know what I mean? So I trust that a lot of it is already there for me. Like when your very first question, when you're playing the actions that are on the page, you really got to trust in your writing. And when the writing's not so strong, that's when you got to tap into your reserves of creativity, because not everything you're going to work on is going to be golden. So when it comes to shifting characters, I don't know, I think I'm just a crazy person. You have to be able to be pliable like that. Because sometimes in the morning I'll go in and do Crollo, and then in the afternoon I'll do Sway. And you have to be ready to like snap and change those things. And the nice thing is they play reference for us when we go in. Yeah. So if it's something like Raymond and I haven't gone in and recorded on it in a couple months, they'll play a couple of clips for me to kind of get me reset and back into the mode. And then it comes pretty quickly. When you work on a character, unless you're just doing like a one-day, one-off sort of thing, it comes back to you and you drop into that role. And I think that's something that voice actors do really well, is we're able to just, okay, you got me for these 4 hours. I'm going to be this person for these 4 hours. I'm going to shake it off, go have a coffee, go have lunch, and go somewhere else and be another character. So it's less of an emotional journey and more of a professional diligence that sort of keeps you focused and in the room and present. I don't know if you guys are picking up on this theme, but being in the moment and present is sort of key to all of this. So yeah, that's sort of how I do it. Yeah. You have the hat up. I got a call on you. I know you, don't I? No? I'm failing on that. I keep forgetting I've never been to Arizona, and I see all of you for a con, and you look familiar, so.
It's cool.
What's your question?
I do have a question, though. But during the recording of Persona 5, have you met some of the familiar voice actors during the recording?
Did I meet him during the recording?
Yeah.
No, but I don't think there's anybody in that cast that I don't know.
But I do know Xander Mobus is in it.
He is in it, and he's a very nice guy. Max Middleman is a good friend of mine who played Ryuji. Matt Mercer is a good friend. I was at his wedding.
He's SBO the Chameleon in Sonic the Hedgehog.
Correct. You know your stuff. You're like a walking Wikipedia, man.
Yeah.
I'm glad you came. If I have any questions, I'll refer to you and the rest of this.
It's my pleasure.
Yeah, in video games, we typically do not record together. So we did some fun stuff, like there was this picture of us like posing by a Persona car and like some weird stuff online, but no, I knew them all outside of school before we played.
Awesome.
Yeah.
But I do know Cassandra Lee Morris is in it.
She is?
She's awesome as Morgana.
Yeah, she is very good. She's a cat bus. How can you not be awesome?
Oh yeah.
Other questions? Yeah, in the back.
I love you as Bill Thunder.
I love you as you. You look very nice. Yeah.
What was your favorite scene to do as Bill Thunder?
Ooh, I like the mist forest when they have their first encounter because you don't know who this guy is, really. I also love the scene when the spear scene. Where he's like miles away, and he's like, I'm just gonna throw the spear at this guy. And then when it comes back and kind of nicks him while he's on the throne or whatever, and he's just kind of like, yeah, this is what I want. I think that's all Gil Thunder wants is a fight. And I think we have not seen his full strength yet. I would argue that he's as strong as almost any of the Sins. We'll see. We'll see. I don't know. If you read the manga, there's some legit stuff coming down the pipe. It's pretty dope. I like Gil too. That was one of those where I was really lucky to be cast in it because it's a deep voice guy and I don't do a ton of those. And yeah, yes. And then I'll get to you and then you. Yes.
Is there a particular mobile suit from Gundam that you'd like to pilot at all?
Oh, I like the Kamaris just because it's like dope and armored up and kind of like old school. And I think it's even like an ancient Gundam, like it's like family passed down Gundam. But season 2 spoilers, I don't know what masked character flies Vidar's. What's his Gundam? Anybody?
It's Vidar.
Oh, it is Vidar. Is the Gundam. Yeah, whoever that character is, clearly not me because I didn't make it through episodes. Not me. I would love to fly that because it's so pointy and dope and it looks really cool. I don't care about Barbatos. I don't care about You leave that for the orphans. Uninterested. I want my regal royal Gundams. Yes.
At which point did you realize that you wanted to do acting as a career? And why?
As a career, another good question for my parents. No, I was interested in other things, but never to the degree. I think it was always. I think I started auditioning for college when what? 16, junior year. I started like applying, right? And then I was auditioning for scholarships senior year.
Oh, you'd already decided what you wanted to do when you were Billy and on Golden Pond.
Oh my God! Look, you're killing me here. Yeah. That was my first real play when I was what? 10, 11, 12.
You were only like about 8 going on 9 when you did on Golden Pond.
Well, there you go. I've been saying 10 all this time. I was underselling myself. Yeah, I think that was it. I was a bit pretty young. But my parents, speaking for them, I also think wanted me to have like a normal childhood too. So they never pushed me to go to like John Roberts Powers at the mall or anything. You know what I mean? Like they didn't want to, pimp me out as a child actor by any means. So I lived I did plays. I started doing summer stock when I was 14 in high school and colleges and professional theaters and stuff like that. And that was where I was making my money along with, working with my dad at like the lumber yard. And I had a pretty normal upbringing for someone who grew up to be such a weird dude. I don't think I wanted to do much else. I think it was all where could I audition and get in and how much burden could we lift off of my parents for college tuition, because it's, they're people of means, but they were always really good at making me respect what I had by working for it. They're like the kind of parents that could have bought me a car, but made me work for it myself, and when I crashed it, my dad took me to the junkyard and made me take all the pieces off of my old car and fix it myself. And he taught me how, but there's no way he was going to buy a $3,000 bumper for me because I was stupid on a date and wrecked my car. So those are the kind of lessons that they sort of taught me, and that sort of thing. And I'm really surprised that they let me go be an actor because, but they knew that's what I wanted to do. So they were infinitely supportive. So yeah, pretty young. That was pretty young. I guess 8 or 9 is the answer. Yeah, right there.
So if voice actors don't typically work face to face, how did you and Ray Chase become friends?
He messaged me on Facebook. So I'd already been in the business for, 5 or 6 years. People knew my voice. So I was one of the only people from the original trailer that got outed online. Sort of like, I think that's Robbie Daymond. And then a couple of people say it, and all you got to do is scan the comments to sort of figure out that it was me. But I couldn't confirm it because we were under a contract. And he reached out to Facebook. He's like, hey man, I played Knocked in this thing. Let's hang out. We should get to know each other because we're going to be working on this for a while. And I was like, okay. So I was like, come meet me out at a Broncos football bar in Marina Del Rey. My girlfriend's a huge Broncos fan. I'm going to have 4 of my buddies and about 8 of her girlfriends there. And he agreed. Which I was like, okay, I like this guy. He's up to the challenge. And he walked into the most awkward social situation. It wasn't awkward. It was just we all knew each other, and he was the odd man out, and he was awesome. He came, he hung out, he pretended to like football, which he doesn't know anything about. He bonded with my super guy friends. He was able to talk to my girlfriend's friends, and I'll tell you this. He walked out of that with a date. Yeah, seriously, he went on a date with one of Megan's friends. Like, he dated her for like a couple of weeks after that. I was like, this guy's awesome. But we had a really similar sense of humor. We became good friends right away. So he reached out to me, and the rest is history. Now I can't get rid of him. The worst. Yes. Right, yes, in front.
So I kind of want like a 2-question thing, but they're linked.
Okay.
Okay, so...
No!
So, I remember I was watching a stream for Anime Expo with the fantasies, and you said, like, after, like, Akechi was revealed, you got this, like, thing on Twitter, just pancakes everywhere. And
Oh, yeah.
Have made remixing things with your voice.
Oh, yeah.
How does that, like, feel, just having people get your voice and putting them to, like, songs of just you saying pancakes?
It's odd, but it's awesome. Yeah, I love that. Like, I think fandoms are great. They take what they... No idea when you're doing the pancake line that's going to become a meme. You never know. You never know what people are going to grab onto. That's the biggest part of what I love about fandoms, is they find what they love and they run with it. And there is some weird stuff, and I don't mind by any means. I have no hang-ups about it. But the only thing that really weirded me out was if you kind of go on the dark side of Reddit, and you get into the discords and all that stuff, and I stay away from it. I'm like, that's for the fans, whatever gets you happy. And Ray's like, dude, you gotta listen to this. And I was like, yeah, he's like, listen to this, click. And it's like his voice being like, ugh, and my voice being like, ah. And then it's like, oh no, it's getting wet in here. It's like, knock. And he's like, oh, pronto. They had taken our voices and remixed it with like sound effects and like all of this stuff. And I was like, that's you and me having sex. And he goes, I think that's you blowing me. And I was like, I don't want to go on Reddit anymore. So that one was kind of, whatever makes you happy. But I typically don't retweet those. But you send me some cute promptist stuff, heck yeah, I'm gonna tweet it out. It's fine. But I get there's a little bit of that to the fandom. I'm not weirded out by it. It is a little weird that it's me and Ray's voice, and we're kind of just alone listening to it in my office. And then we kind of just look at it and go, eh, and you go, so, whatever. I'm cool with it. That's fine. And it's the character voice. So you do it what you want.
But also, if you have like a really popular voice, people do like, they try doing voiceovers for comics and they try like replicate your voice.
Yeah.
Like, how do you feel when you hear someone who has like a voice that's like really close to yours?
I've yet to find them. I'm kidding. No, it's fine. There's not any. If that's something someone enjoys, awesome. I look at it the same way I would look at like doing a song cover in the style of someone. Like totally fine. If that's something that inspires you, totally do it. Yeah, definitely not threatened or weirded out or anything like that. Like I take it as a compliment, flattering. All right, you guys. I have 4 minutes. How many questions do we have total? If we didn't have any more times, who would ask them? Okay, well then we'll just finish with those. No need for a lightning round. Yes, right there.
Okay,
Yes.
cool. Just making sure.
Mhm.
So you're a really great voice actor, but do you have a great singing voice?
Well, that's...
Ask Mom.
It's up to interpretation. They let me sing sometimes. Yeah. On a Sunday, on a con day. Let's see. I have no idea what to sing. I just want to ride my chocobo all day. Da-da-da-da-da-da. That's it. Well, worst time to sing. Yeah, I grew up singing and I paid some bills with some musical theater for a while. Cartoons let me sing sometimes, which I really love. It's the one thing my mother's disappointed in is that I didn't pursue music as much as I should have. But I play guitar and I dink around on the piano and I started on drums. That was their fault. Bad call by an 8-year-old a drum set. We're good. Just let him loose in the basement and shut the door. But I love singing. If I hint, let's just say that this year I did a series of videos that were duets with other voice actors that maybe you didn't know sing or maybe you did. Is that something you guys would watch?
Yes.
Well, then maybe I'm doing that. Because remember, all it took for me to start vlogging was someone on Twitter to go, "You should vlog," and now I do. So easy peasy. That's something I'm working on this year, is to try to do some more music because I miss it. Yeah. 2 more, I think, right? Or just you? Is that it? Oh, all right. You two have been here all weekend. You're good ones to end on. We'll go you and then you. Yes.
Okay, so we hear voice actors talk about how their voice is their instrument. How do you keep your instrument working well, and what are some tips you could share with other people?
Yeah, it's tough for me. I have a sort of a thin, high voice, which has a tendency to be harder to maintain. Like, if I get a cold, I can't do what I do. You know what I mean? And if I do, it doesn't sound as good. So I have to keep myself healthy as much as possible. If you'll notice, I shake all your hands and high five you guys and give you hugs, but I don't ever touch my face after that until I wash my hands. And I'm really careful about my health. That's important. I did have a game-breaking injury early last year. I lost my voice for a month and didn't work for 6 weeks because I had a hemorrhaged right vocal cord, a big hemorrhage and I was on vocal rest for 2 weeks, and then I didn't work for 6 weeks. So there are injuries that you can get. It's kind of like being an athlete. You just have to take care. You stretch. I'm religious about my warm-ups, especially if I know I'm going to be screaming or having a really high-pitched character. Hydration, you hear that one all the time. There are a few tricks that we use, like we use gelatin drops, like regular pastilles. We take a ginseng herbal thing called nimjam pe pa koa. It's a little secret ginseng loquat honey that we mix with our tea. Hot liquids are good, lemon's good, mostly just hydration. Staying healthy, properly warming up. You literally think of yourself as an athlete. I don't think you'd go out and do wind sprints without at least a little bit of a warm-up first, or you're going to get an injury. So yeah. So it is our instrument, and we take good care of it as we can. Yeah. Yes.
If you were invited to another convention in Arizona, would you accept it?
Hell yes! Because of you guys. I really like you guys. This is a great con. Did you guys have fun this weekend? Yeah. Awesome. Go home, be safe. Maybe we'll see you in the desert some other time. Thanks, guys.